Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. Good morning. Grab a program right back there. There you are. Welcome. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. You said 14? Okay. Good morning, Dr. Eileen. I had my whole program around you, and you weren't here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love it when things start working. It's amazing, you know. Oh, I'd like you all to just take a nice deep breath, and you've all survived the rain. You know, here in Dr. Eileen, they go on the altar. That's your chair right there, and
okay.
Yeah, those two people. There we go.
All righty. Thank you, Bob.
And nobody had to swim in. I'm so glad. You know, we get more than a half an inch of rain in California, and we feel like we're drowning. It's an amazing situation. When I was sitting in the house, and it was down to 41 degrees, even though, you know, and I had turned on the heat, and it was getting a little bit warmer. And I had a client call me from Connecticut. And I said, it is freezing here. It's 41 degrees. Well, the laughter should have been heard all over everywhere. And she said, are you kidding? I'm sitting in here and it's 19. And
You win.
You win. It's just so exciting when we have rain. And we drive like crazy when it's raining. We act like idiots when it's raining.
In California.
Yay, California. Oh, thank you so much. And anybody have a birthday coming up this week? Any birthdays? I think this group just stopped getting older. You know, I haven't.
Oh, wait.
Jeannie, is it your birthday? Come.
17.
Oh, wow. Yay. Come on up and get some beads.
Get your beads, girl.
Yeah.
I had to count the days. Next week, right?
Yeah, I see what color it goes with her.
What color goes? Gold.
Oh, there you go.
Thank
Look at
you.
you. Well, and we have this great song for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. We are out of practice.
Yeah, we're out of practice. See what happens when people have birthdays every Sunday. And so we're so glad to have you all here. And if you notice, we have 3 wise men on the altar, and that's in honor of Farima, who we're so excited that she's here. And now what I'd like for you all to do is just take a nice deep breath, because it's not a deep breath, it's a deep breath. Wherever Beth is, thank you. And because she just sailed in, and I'd like to ask that our wonderful Reverend Dr. Eileen do the morning meditation, and if you could accompany her, Reverend Janet, that would be great. And I'm going to move over as soon as I get my legs underneath me. Here we go.
And I have to say, at the UCM party, literally 2 seconds before I started doing the meditation, I asked our wonderful Reverend Dr. Eileen,
Who had just walked in.
Well, while you're there now, Jan, tell us about Light of Lights.
And
I would
get
love
closer to the mic, please.
I would love to tell you about Light of Lights. It is happening this Wednesday. Please, please, please come. It is at the Center for Spiritual Living on Clark Street in San Jose. We start at 6:30, and it is a wonderful ceremony where we light candles for people we love, And we also light community candles for special groups in the community. And we have music, and we have camaraderie, and we have a chance to bring comfort to each other and to our own hurting hearts during the holidays. So please, 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 join us for that. It's going to be wonderful. And then you take your candle home at the end of the ceremony and continue to light it throughout the holiday season. So please join us, 6:30 p.m., Center for Spiritual Living on Clark Street, San Jose. I'm looking for all of you wonderful CCL.
Recording in progress.
And you have a flyer in your program, so you can, in case you don't remember.
Everyone take a nice deep breath in. And close your eyes. And I want you to picture yourself sitting in the middle of a park bench. The sun is shining down on you. In the distance, you hear children laughing. There's a gentle breeze that it is exactly as warm or cool as it needs to be to refresh you. And you notice an elder walking up to you, silver hair, carrying a staff. And they look at you, and you look into those eyes, and you see strength and wisdom. But you also see your own eyes, because it is the elder form of you. And that elder form of you smiles and sits down next to you. They place their hand over your hand, and they tell you, you are amazing and loved. No matter what challenges you face, not one will be stronger than you. I am a part of you, and you are a part of me, and I could never be complete without you. And as you sit and hold the hand of that elder you look up and you notice there's a child standing in front of you. And in that child's eyes, you see apprehension and yet hope. And you also see your own eyes. This is the younger version of you, that child that you were. And it hesitantly comes up and sits down next to you. And you place your hand over that child's hand. And you lean over and you say, you are amazing and you are loved. No matter what challenges you face, not one will be stronger than you. I am a part of you and you are a part of me. And I could never be complete without you. And as you sit and hold the hands of the you that you are meant to be, the strong and wise you, and the you that you were, the hopeful childlike you, you feel someone walk up behind you and they place their hands upon your shoulder. And when they do, you feel light and love move through you. You feel a wholeness. You feel a sacredness. And however you envision spirit, that being leans over and whispers in your ear, you are amazing and you are loved. No matter what challenges you face, not one will be stronger than you. You are a part of me, and I am a part of you, and I would not be complete without you.
Oh, love, like a blanket
sunshine all around me, and I know that I'm here. Oh, all of my ancestors, you are living within my heart, and I know you are here. And oh, my innocent child, when you're dancing inside my soul, I can be wild, free, and full of life. Oh, life, life, you bring me home. You show me the way to be. All the parts of me dancing in my heart, tell me I am true, tell me I am full of love and full of life. All the wisdom brings us to this moment, this sweet reminder. We are all love, and the broken soul, the hurting heart, we will cradle in the loving arms, and we'll all know we are whole. Oh, dance, 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 dance in the circle of life, life, life. Feel the mysteries around us, and we are brought home. Every time I open my eyes, I see the dancing light, and I know we are home. Oh, 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 we are home, I said home, home, home. We are home, we are home. In the heart we are home. Home, home, home. We are home, I said home, home, home.
We are whole.
We are home in our heart. Home in our heart. We are home.
Sing along.
Home, home, home. We are home, I said home, home, home. We are home in our heart.
In our hearts.
Oh, we are home. Home, home, home. We are home, I said home, home, home. We are home in our heart. We are
Thank you, both of you wonderful ladies. And, I'd like to introduce my son Bob, because Bob, I've got a job for you.
What am I going to do?
Come on up here and pick up this chair and take it back to April back here who's back here with a mask on. Okay. We have some padded chairs and we have some not so padded chairs, and our wonderful April right now needs a padded chair. And for all of you who are going through a difficult time, please ask for what you need. So many times when someone's not feeling well, they don't feel like they deserve extra treatment. Well, here we feel that if you're going through something, let us know so we can help you. And for those of you who might not know it, I'm the Reverend Dottie Boone, and welcome to the Center for Creative Living. And I am so glad that my son Bob and his wonderful lady Julia are up here from down near San Diego. They're from Oceanside. So I want to say thank you so much for being here. For any of you who have kids that are a little bit older, I love that. He's got a big birthday coming up at the end of this month, so a little bit older. And you know how much you enjoy having them present in your life. It's just delightful. This is going to be, from now on until about January 6th, a very, very busy time. And what I want to ask all of you is to take care of yourself. Do self-care. You don't have to take care of everybody around you if you're not feeling well. Say, I've got a bad headache, or I've got a bad cough, or I'm not feeling well. And then take care of yourself. And the reason I said say it is because that gives the people that know and love you an awareness of what is going on with you. So it's just time to take care of yourself, okay? And, today's speaker is such a bright light on the planet. The work that she does with her home country, I think U.S. is now her home country. And you know that having two countries, many of you here do. You were born somewhere else. And what's happening with Iran has been very, very difficult, especially for a woman who's as active as she is and all that she's doing and the things she sees happening. And for her to take this time to come and talk to us is just amazing to me, because I so value the friendship and the company of Farima. And I think once you meet her, you're going to feel the same way. This is one beautiful light on the planet. Yes. Farima. Yay! Oh, here she comes. And you get to stand right in front of me, okay? Because I don't move near as fast as you do. And one of these days you're going to have to dance for us, too.
No problem. Good morning. Good morning. I had to put my magician hat since my ancestors were magicians. Thank you all so much. I love coming here. It's been a tradition, and thank you for having me again here.
Yes.
Before I start, I do want to ask if you don't mind sending a prayer to my country and my people. Yes. Thank you.
Sorry, are you okay? Okay. We're here. We're here to support you, okay? And your country. But tell us what we need to do. Do we need to send prayers?
We send our love. Oh, we send our strength. Oh, we send our holy arms to you, sweet Iran. May you be surrounded by our power. May you know your hearts are good. May we hold you in the comfort of our arms forever.
Thank you. It's, as you mentioned, home is where the heart is, and I feel home is where people give you love, people support you, and here, this is my home. And of course, I have another home where my bloodline is, and so you're always attached to that bloodline. And when you see them dying, when you see them suffering, it affects you. It affects you physically and mentally, and affects your other home. As the Persian poet Sadi says, if one human being is suffering, others will affect it. And if you don't feel that empathy, then you're not called human being. So we are all human beings, and we all suffer each other's suffering. So thank you. Today I want to talk about the Magi, the three kings, the wise men. Who were the wise men? We see their painting and the Renaissance churches and the medieval churches and everywhere, these beautiful paintings in Europe and US, everywhere. But who were they really? Were the Magi astronomers? Were they magicians? Were they physicians, engineers, architects, alchemists? Well, I tell you, they were all above. They were everything that you see and that we do today, that we have a specialty in, they were it. They were called the magicians. A Farsi name means magic. So we have the English word magic comes from magician. The Greeks used to call them the magus, and in Iran, or in Persia, Iran/Persia, they used to call them the magician, the great magicians. Now, these great magicians, of course, were highly respected. From childhood, the ones who were very wise and very smart, they would be sent to a special school. If you've ever seen Harry Potter, well, guess what? Harry Potter, the school of Hogwarts, it was actually Persian. We had a school called the Magic School, okay, the School of Magic in Iran, in ancient Persia. Now, the school had 4 departments, and as you would enter as a youth or maybe an adult, you would be put into a special department based on your expertise, based on your ability, and based on how you can handle what department. And these departments were known as the Department of Art and Spirituality, Engineering and Mathematics, Astrology, and Science and Medicine. This is why in the East, or in Iran and Persia, there were such amazing physicians and poets and artists and architects, because they would be put into these schools, and these schools were very, very respected. And you would go to these schools for almost half of your life. And at the end of these schools, you would be hooded, you would be given a cape and a special hat, like a Smurf hat. You will see it, literally a Smurf hat. So Smurfs also is Persian. And you would come out with these Smurf hat and this cape, and you would be walking around in your town and your city, and everybody would know he's a magus. That means he knows everything. So you would even be given a position, and you might become a mayor. You might become a town's judge. Sometimes you would even become a police officer. So they would be very highly respected, and sometimes you would be even more honored than the king himself. They would be hired in the royal courts to be the court's physicians, artists, architects, and they were also the most highest position they would get would be the keepers of the fire. Since the Zoroastrians in Iran were the worshippers of the fire and the sun, if you would be given that role to be the safekeeper, to be the guardian of God itself, then you would be highly respected. You would become the priest. So the 3 wise men were the guardians of the fire. So some of the wise men, some of these Zoroastrian priests or the magus, they would be lawyers. They would be in town to resolve conflicts between people. Some of them would be the Atash Gah guardians, meaning the fire keepers of the fire temples. Some of them would become the judge. We call dasturs, meaning they were the keepers of the law. Okay, whatever they say, you have to respect it. Some of them would become the royal laws, meaning they would hold positions in treasuries, state law, governors. So they would be very respected. They had, like I said, they had special clothing that you would differentiate them that they are the magus, like this special hat. And since fire was very sacred to them, everything that they do was about the fire. So if you would go to the fire temples and you wanted to worship the fire or pray, you would have the priest, of course, accompany you and listen to your prayers and communicate with the fire. Now, the 3 Magi's, of course, they were Iranian, Persian, and when I say Iranian, Persian, it's because not all Iranians are Persian, and not all Persians are Iranians. Okay, in Iran we have 45 different ethnicities. We have the Arab Iranians, the African Iranians, Persian Iranians, Azeri Iranians, and so just like the United States, how you call yourself something an American, this is the same as Iran. So the three Magi's, one of them, Casper, was Persian, the other was an Iranian African, and one of them was an Iranian Arab from the south. Okay? They were all Iranians. But they were one of the highly respected Magi's because the grand wizard, the grand priest, sent them on a mission. So we're going to talk about what that mission was. And now, they were known to be great astrologers. The Magi's of Iran, the Persian priests, were known to be great astrologists. They studied the stars. Everything that we have is based on the stars. In Iran, we still celebrate solstices and equinoxes. We kept our Zoroastrian tradition, and everything is based on what the stars tell us. There was a time when the Magi's were searching for a great star known as Tishtar, the 8-pointed star. Now, Tishtar, which is the Farsi name for it, is a very special star. In mysticism, we say that a person has to go through 7 levels in order to reach that last point, to reach God. And so we as humans travel 7 pathways, the path of longing, solitude, love, despair, anger, but we pass it all until we hit that last point and we become Tishtar. Tishtar means superstar. So that's the name superstar that we have. And it's the star that we put on a Christmas tree. So when you become that Tishtar, you become a superstar. And Tishtar is only seen very rarely, once every maybe 100 years, and it's only been seen in clear stars. And so this was the time where they knew, and they were great at dreams. The Magi's were great at dreams. They knew that the star is coming. They wanted to go and find this Tishtar. They wanted to go and find the star of 8. Now, many of you might know, many of you might not know, but in Iran, we actually celebrate Christmas, Yalda, on December 21st as the birth of Mitra, the sun god. We call it Mitra Mass. Now, because of the Greco-Roman invention, they called us the pagans. And when, the religion came and when Christianity came, well, nobody in the East was celebrating the birth of Jesus, because in general, in Iran, or in Orthodox Christians in Iran, they believe Jesus was born in April. And I'll tell you why. And so nobody was celebrating it in April, so they said, you know what, let's just change Mitra Mass to Christmas. So that's why Christmas became in winter. But we actually celebrate on the 21st, Mitra Mass, this longest night of the year where the sun was born. The reason we celebrate Christmas, the actual Christ Day in Iran on April, because Tishtar is not visible in winter at all. And there's no way you can find Tishtar. The skies are completely fogged up. And there's no way in Iran you can travel to Jerusalem in that snow and that wind and that rain from the deserts of Iran going all the way. It's just no way. You'll die in the middle of the road. Try traveling from one city to another city in Iran, you die of frozen snow. There's no way. So in April, what happened was actually April 17th, it was believed that a comet hit. A comet hit, and the Magi's actually wanted to search for that comet. And some believe that it was that comet that led them to find baby Jesus. And it was, and that comet happened, and the facts are there that at that time, there was this great comet that hit the east, and they were in search for it because there was this bright light that happened. Fire came, and so the scientists believe that it was a comet. But Tishtar only comes in between March 25th until April 25th. You can only see the star of Tishtar at that time. If you go into the mountains of Iran, you can see the star. You can see that bright star. So this is why it is always debatable that Christmas was changed in the medieval time in order to take away that pagan ritual and bring it into the Christ Day. The 8th star represents the 7 angels in Iran and the 7 gods and goddesses. You might see that in the Statue of Liberty, Lady Liberty holding the fire. That fire is Ahura Mazda with the 7 rays, meaning the 7 gods and goddesses. So that was actually there as well. Now, the Magi's, how did it happen that they traveled to Jerusalem or to go to Bethlehem? Well, here's the interesting part. As you know, Cyrus the Great, when he came and unified the kingdoms, the 7 kingdoms of Iran, he called us all the Persians. And he freed the Jews from Babylon. And he said, you are welcome to stay, or you're welcome to go back and build your temple. About millions and millions of Jews stayed in Iran. This is why in Iran we have the highest Jewish population after Israel. They stayed in Iran. They didn't want to go because Iran had the freedom. It's funny that we say we had the human rights before, but now we don't have it. But this is what they had. They had the Declaration of Human Rights, so the Jews stayed. And so when half of your population becomes Jew, you have to learn their culture. You have to speak their language. You have to provide them the opportunities they want. So the Persians started to learn their culture, their language. And so it became our second language. Hebrew became our second language. And so what happened was Esther, the queen, the Israelites, married the king. And so that even opened up for more Hebrews and Jews to come into Iran. And so we all stayed together, we lived together. And so the Magi's were actually had to learn Hebrew in order to be able to have them as their second language. And so they were very well known of speaking that language. They were aware of the culture in Israel. They wanted to go and find the star, the Tishtar. They wanted to be up close to Tishtar. And so they had no problem going there. The traveling was always open. They knew how to go there. A lot of people say, how's it possible from Iran to go to there? And I would say it was easy because the roads were open. It was very easy to go. So they were given the commission to go find the comet or the star of Tishtar. Now, knowing that Casper, of course, Jasper, we call it Jasper. Jasper was an alchemist. Knowing that they had to travel afar, the priest would never travel without protection and without backup. That means they prepared for everything. Because they are priests, well, they had to bring themselves the stuff that was needed. That means gold. They needed to bring gold. Why gold? Because what if you get trapped somewhere and you are in case of emergency, or you get robbed or something, you need money, well, you have your gold to sell in order to survive. 2, frankincense, which is very famous in Persia or Iran, and we use it for prayer purposes. If you go to fire temples, we use it. They're priests. They need to do their prayers. They need to do their rituals, so they carried frankincense. Okay. 3rd, they had myrrh. In Iran, when you die, the burial, you have to bring myrrh in order to have that as a protection. So they prepared themselves in case they died, they would have that with them. These 3 gifts were the gifts that were given to baby Jesus. Okay? But they were all ceremonial stuff for the Persian Zoroastrian priestesses and priests. In the Bible, it says, and he sent them to Bethlehem to reach the young child. They were there and they gave them gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. However, in the ancient book of Avesta, the Zoroastrian book, it says, and he sent them to find the great star. They were carrying their gifts as a protection. So you have these 2 in the Bible and in the book of Avesta. So we can kind of compare that. And the inscriptions and the carving in Iran, in Persepolis, and in Kermanshah, there are great inscriptions about the great three wise men being sent to Bethlehem to find the great star. Casper, of course, they say that he is actually buried in Iran. There is a tomb, an unknown tomb, that people said he's buried there. That's one of the wise men. And there's a great pilgrimage that happens that every year they go to this tomb in Iran. It is in the northwest of Iran, in a very small village called the Umayyadan village in the west of Iran. There is a fountain that people call it the fountain of youth. They say that the water is healing, so they go and drink the water or bring back the water. Now, of course, some say that there's also a shrine, I believe in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. But there's no body really in those tombs. It's more of a, I think, ceremony or decorative stuff. But there is a body which archaeologists have discovered in that village in Iran, which many think it's Casper. Now, according to an English scientist, Alfred Russell, he says in his book that the Persian Magi had special powers. He states that one of them, named Azar Kayvan, who was one of the great wizards, had the ability, and along with his disciples, they had the ability to read people's mind. They had the ability to walk on water and fire, and with the snap of their finger, disappear. Don't see me?
I pressed the top of the hat.
Oh. Don't make me walk on fire. I thought I could do it, but I'm still here. But
Water's good enough.
oh, thank you. They didn't help me. I thought my grandfathers might help me, but they didn't help me. Fun fact. In 1614 AD, this Persian Sasanian army invaded Israel. They went into the city of Bethlehem and they took the land. And one of the generals walked into the church, the great church, and suddenly opened the door, and there it was, the picture of his ancestors, the three Magi. And there he kneeled down and ordered his soldiers to leave the city in honor for their ancestors. And so they left the city, didn't invaded it, they left it because they realized that that city is the city where their ancestors are being treasured, are being respected. So the king, the Sasanian king, ordered that the troops have to leave Israel and leave it at peace. And that was it. Now, the Magi, of course, then became this world phenomenon, kings known as the kings, and their pictures were everywhere. Their statues was everywhere. Their paintings went everywhere. And here's another fun fact. Did you know that King Louis XIV actually hired magus from Iran, magicians, the priests from Iran, to go to the Louvre and build the Louvre?
Oh, wow.
The Louvre was most of the architect that you see, the paintings that you see, was actually done by Persian priests because they were great artists and great architects. And so this is why there's so much similarities between the French art and the Persian art because of this interaction and this trade. So they were actually hired by King Louis to do the artwork. And what else I can tell you? Well,
How are you related?
oh, yes, I am actually a bloodline of a Magi. So, yes.
Could somebody get the door? There's people out there. So.
Now,
Thank you.
let me represent to you 3 facts that why we believe, well, I believe, maybe you don't have to, but why I believe the Magi are Persians. 1, because the word magic is Farsi. They were the magicians. Okay? They were the magicians. They were dignitaries, advisors of the Persian kings and royal priests, and they were the royal court. Great Zoroastrian priests. Two, of course, their images is in the nativity in Bethlehem, and it says that they are the Persian Magi. It has been documented by the Sasanian Persian king that when the army went to Bethlehem, they saw the pictures of their ancestors and they left the city. Okay? Their clothing are the clothing that we still wear today when we are, if we graduate, or the Sufis or the mystics of Iran still wear the same exact clothing. The hat, the Smurfs hat has not changed. The cape has not changed. We still wear the exact same clothing. Three, the Magi were familiar with the Old Testament. They were given the duties of the priesthood. Cyrus has declared it, and it was in the Old Testament, and we can see in Matthew's and the Bible that is declaring that they were sent to see the child. And of course, in the book of Avesta, it was stated that they were sent to see the star, Tishtar. So all of these are indication that the Magi were from Iran. And of course, we know today now that so many of our practices, so many of our holidays, so many of our movies and folk tales, if we look closely, if we listen closely, if we research closely, they all come from the East. Okay? A lot of religion, our organized religion, is based on pagan rituals, is based on Zoroastrianism, because Zoroastrianism was the first prophet. Zoroaster was the first prophet that came, 1600 years before the birth of Christ. Everything that you read in the Bible, Zoroaster has done it. You can read about how these holidays that we have, it was done before. So everything was changed in order to, of course, be in the modern age, but everything has its roots. A lot of it has its roots from the East. So the fourth one that I added, how do we know that they were Persian? Because they were great magicians like me. I tried. Oh, hear us, Mazda, the light. Thou, you know the truth and heavenly gladness. Clean us from falsehood and keep us from evil and bondage and badness. O Ahura, pour out the light over us and give us joy. Take the darkness away from us. As we travel this road, be with us. Expert from the Zoroastrian Magi, one of the wise men from Iran that left the Median city of modern-day Hamadan, Iran, to find the new star. And along the way, they unexpectedly met many challenges and used their 3 treasures to save themselves and a newborn child. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy holiday. I hope you enjoyed it. There is a couple of prayer rituals that the Magi actually used to do in the fire temple, and I have them here. And if you like, I can
You still didn't tell us how you were related to the Magi.
Well, my parents were very mystics. My father's side is actually from a Zoroastrian side, and when we actually gave DNA, and my DNA came out to be actually part of the Median Empire and related to the Magi's. And so when I was a child, they actually put me into magic schools. That's how I learned to hide. Yes. I went through all these years of schooling just to learn how to hide. So that's why I grew up learning about mysticism and you know, the beautiful history, and they really encouraged me to learn about my past, my ancestors. So yes, you can call me Magi Farima if you want. There is a beautiful prayer in the Avesta done by for the Magi's that the Magi's usually do, and it is called Ardi Behesht Yasht, which the Zoroastrian priest, the Magi, would give in the fire temples. And it refers to 5 types of healing. And those healings are loneliness. Those healings are greed, ego, sadness, and anger. These 5 types. And the Magi believe that if humanity holds these 5 inside, then you become Ahriman, the Dark Lord. It is you that holds these grudges in. It is you that holds it in. And if you don't clean it with the fire or with the light, it will consume you and you become dark. And so by doing this prayer, you take these 5 out, you give it to the fire, you burn it, and inside will be empty and light will enter. So let us heal and bring that special power. Asho Bahishzo, Asho Bahishzo, Asho Bahishzo. It is a chanting that you can repeat every time you feel one of those things in your heart: anger, sadness, loneliness, greed, and ego. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much.
And questions. You have questions? Questions?
That was my disappearing moment.
Magi, Farima.
Thank you. Yes. Questions?
What does the beautiful chant that you taught us? And if you could say it again, just so I think it's...
Of course. It is, so there are plenty of chants, but this was the chant of healing, and it's Asho Bahishzo, Asho Bahishzo. And if you like, I could send it later at an email. There are 5 chants of the Magi's, and you can always have them. But and if you ever want to do it, I can send you an email and you can share it. The other one is it's called Mantra Bahushzo, which is holy prayers. Oh God, hear me. There is Uvru Bahishzo, which means healing of the plants and universe, the environment. And there is Dato Bahishzo, and those are of taking away injustices. And so these are all prayers for particular events that you can use.
Yes. Exactly what we need.
Yes. Environment, injustices, and taking away anger and suffering, and bringing the light. Yes. So these 5 chants I can send you, and you can always use them. But these are the ancient Zoroastrian chants that the 3 kings used to say.
And what can we do to help support your country?
Yes.
Oh, thank you for asking. I think the greatest help you can do is be our voice. The most that we can say is try to please speak out, familiar yourself with the culture of Iran, stuff like this, that you learn more, educate yourself, and spread out this to anyone that you know, your congressman, your mayor, to please put pressure and to stop killing the people. There have been more than 1,000 people that have been killed. They're executing people. I have lost friends. So be our voice and just educate yourself. Education is the very best. And support, if you see Persians or Iranians, hug them. They're suffering. They're all suffering. And just pray for them. Yes. Pray for them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm not going to let you go again.
No,
Okay.
I'm not going to say yes.
Tell us about your dancing.
My dancing. I have been dancing since I was a child. I come from a family of not just mystics, but also artists. And I dance for peace and unity. I travel the world and perform. Mainly my dances are ancient dances of Iran, my dances, mystic dances, and I do these dances in order to bring love and healing to the community. If you ever want to see more of my dancing, you can always visit my website, come to our shows, and we have Zoom linked events. And we are not for profit, so if you ever want to make a donation that you want to do your tax write-up, we do accept donations because everything we do is based on donation. I don't do anything for money or business. Everything's just by the heart. And I hope that one day I come and dance here.
Oh, we'd love it.
Love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Teach us.
Yes, thank you. Yes, hi.
I have a question, and afterward I also have a comment. Without getting specific or deep into it, you talk about the embrace of Judaism and Christianity potentially, like kind of listen to what you said there. In a couple of words, what happened? Where did the specific hatred come from?
There is no hatred in Iran. Everybody, because in Iran we have, not in Iran, again, like everybody that assumes they're all just one, we have Baha'is, we have Christians, we have the Jews, we have the Muslim Shiites and Sunnis, we have the Sufis, we're all living among each other. No one's really asked what you are. Mainly the hatred became more of media. The hatred became more of the political, this greed for money and land. That's where the hatred came from. There was never a hatred between the people, because the land, the Iranians, they're all different ethnicities. They're all different religion. They're all different cultures. And the land of Israel and land of Persia, they were basically brothers and sisters. They were together. And all this greed happened because of, unfortunately, a lot of oil. Western greed wanted to be oil, so they had to create some kind of a conflict. Without conflict, they can't win. And so they have to make conflicts in order to create wars.
Yeah.
If when you hate people, you win. So from an outside, if you put two people together and they're arguing and you're sitting and watching them and smiling, you're like, I won. Because they can keep arguing and I can take whatever I want. They're arguing.
Yeah.
And so it's a trick. Unfortunately, it's a political trick. It's a political game that they played. Otherwise, within ourselves, there was never hatred.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
wonderful.
And the comment is, some of us have heard Farima a number of times, and last year we wanted to give her an expanded venue. So Farima is actually on the UCM website for 2 hours. So if you want quadruple what you just heard, it's fantastic. u-c-m.org, YouTube videos. So you have to kind of find it. But please check her out there as well. We love her.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And I love you too. Thank you.
Now I'll stop grabbing you and keeping you.
Okay. Can I do like this?
Yes.
This here. I'm trying, but the school doesn't help me. Thank you.
And you took my program.
Oh, is that your
Thank you very much. Oh my gosh. One of the things that I forgot to mention, we mentioned the Light of Lights, which is fantastic, but we hadn't mentioned that on the 18th. Is it just the 18th when Sophie's? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
You probably know more about it than I do, Dr. Eileen. Could you talk a little bit about Beyond Despair?
Oh, okay. Well, it is an amazing play that was written by an equally amazing woman who went through a journey of transitioning to who she felt she was, and the difficulties and the challenges that she faced and the family relationships. It's a very powerful play, and it's not long, but there's a lot that's in it, and I have the honor of performing in it, and it is going to be right here at the Billy DeFrank Center on, actually, no, there's 2 days. Let's see, Saturday, December 17th at 7 p.m. and Sunday, December 18th at 2 p.m. So we're going to be doing 2 performances. And if you can have a chance to come in and, experience that, it really is, because the thing is, it's more about humanity. It's more about finding what your own truth is and being able to embrace it, and having to actually face the despair that you feel and finding out what is on the other side of it, which is peace, which is the beginning of a journey. It doesn't, the resolution of the play isn't an ending, it's a beginning. And it is very exciting, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. And I invite you all to come in.
It's amazing.
It's an amazing journey that Sophie was on, and it touches your heart, because there's things that have happened to you that you felt despair. And to see somebody go through it and come out on the other side is incredible. And this is a time that we say thank you very much for being here and passing the basket. So I don't know who's got the basket.
Tim's our man.
Tim's our man. Do you want to pass basket? Sure. No, that would be wonderful. And please, and if right now you're a little bit short of funds, just please put a blessing on the basket so we can, and we say, and you can start, one of these days I'm going to learn this prayer,
Giving to the ministry.
Giving to the ministry.
From which we receive our spiritual support and nurturing is an affirmation and consciousness of the truth that spirit is the prospering power enriching every area of my life.
And so it is. Thank you so very much. Okay, I really do appreciate that. Thank you, Tim. We are having a little bit of difficulty towards the end of the year because my wonderful wife, Corky, is having her shoulder replaced, her right shoulder. And in doing so, it means that a lot of the jobs that she usually does are going to be having other people do them. And so Tim is nice enough to volunteer to help. We really do appreciate it, Tim. We have other people. Ed is going to come here and do the video. The doctor says she's going to be recovering for 4 to 8 weeks. Yes. So none of you realize all the work she puts in. She's the one who makes the programs. She's the one who does all of the video and the taping and the zooming and the...
Eileen does the editing.
And Eileen does the editing. She does the editing of it, so before it is released, so that you can look at it. But we have, this little lady does a lot, and so
Yes,
we're going to take a lot of people. So, yeah.
I'm going to miss some Sundays.
Yeah, she might miss some Sundays, so we want you. And I'm not driving these days, so I might even need a chauffeur every once in a while, And so at this time, I'd like you all to just close your eyes and just take a nice deep breath and say, Creator, thank you so very much for being wonderfully wise, looking out for us and taking care of us. And during this time when we're having holidays, we're having events, we're gathering together with friends and family, please bless us and hold us in your hands, because we know that you know the truth within us and can help us absolutely transform into better people. And so it is.
And so it is.
Yes. Thank you so very much for joining us. We have coffee in the kitchen, and look at all the food.
Wow.
So please go check out the food. It's free. That's been donated to us, and take some home with you. And if you feel that you don't need any food, you might find something there that you think somebody really does need. So pick it up, okay? And you'll notice the blue bag, so you can even have a bag to take something in. And don't leave in a hurry. We're going to be here for a while. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Farima. Yay!